Hello and good evening and welcome to the wine review. As always, as you know, am Ryan the Wine Guy.
Sean.
This is Hart, and this guy here is Jerry the Bear. We are going to be reviewing this Peter Paul Wines Pinot Noir 2014 from Russian River Valley from Graveston Highway. Is coming in at 14.4% alcohol. This is about a $25, maybe even $30 wine. It's a little bit more pricey, a little bit more upscale, but hopefully it's one that you would all appreciate and enjoy if you find it, and if you're just looking to sort of give an extra, few bucks to a good wine. I'm going to read a little bit about the background. The core element of this Pinot Noir is sourced from grapes grown near the Graveston Highway, midway between Sebastopol and Forestville, and at the heart of the Russian River Valley. Fruit-forward, lush-textured, and eminently drinkable. So, from Russian River Valley by Peter Paul Wines. So, the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to just tell you a little bit about what I see in the color. Oh, wow, a nice see-through red. Very, it's not like a dark red, but it symbolizes some darkness to it, but it's still very see-throughable. You can really see through it. Yeah, I would say it's definitely a little bit darker for a Pinot Noir, but it's not as dark as what you might get from a Cab or a Merlot. So it's kind of definitely has some dark fruit characteristic to this, I would say. So we're gonna go for the nose. Oh wow. Definitely get some sherry components to it. A little bit of spice, maybe like a little bit of baking spice, maybe allspice, if you want to call it that. Maybe a little bit of a little hint of anise. Definitely getting some strawberries in there. Maybe a little hint of that plum to add in that dark fruit. A little bit of cocoa. A little bit of like a cola type thing. Maybe not necessarily Coca-Cola, but maybe that like what is it, like RC or RV cola, whatever that stuff that used to be like the store brand cola. Kind of getting a little bit of that in here. Maybe a tad bit of mint. Doesn't get you drunk is what David is at. It's 14.4% alcohol, so depending on how fast you drink it, yeah, I mean it definitely could. I guarantee you it can. One more thing I'm getting, hang on. A little bit of floral character in there. You can't quite pinpoint whether it's lavender or a type of rose. But there's definitely some floristic characters going on. So let's see what. Okay, now we're gonna try. Now we're gonna taste. Hold on. Oh, wow. There's some bright colors in this. Or I should say some bright fruit in this. It tastes fresh. Like it literally tastes like you are picking berries off the vine and are eating them right as they're ripe. It's a very juicy, fruity wine. A little bit of strawberry, a little bit of raspberry going on. Definitely get that cherry in there, I think. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. That's your Brad. Well, maybe. Yeah, I can taste the raspberry.
There was this subtle hint of spiciness, not like a spicy like habanero pepper spice, but spice in the sense, as I said earlier, sort of that anise spice, maybe that sort of cooking spice. Maybe there's a little bit of nutmeg, maybe. Definitely a little hint of mint. I think since I said mint earlier in the nose, I for some reason want to get a minty type of taste in here. As I'm sucking in the wine and letting it roll around my tongue, I definitely get that. Come on,
you are the professional. You are the professional.
This is wine talk, okay? Don't make it perverted.
Oh no, that's not what I was gonna. I just can't do it well.
Oh, okay. No, I'm not making it. Okay, well, I definitely am getting this. I definitely am getting the cola type structure in here.
How do you do that without it burning your throat? You just keep on trying to do it and just like letting it stop.
You just wine shouldn't burn your throat. You know, if you do this the same thing with whiskey, it should, but wine it just. But
I'm a weakling. I've only drank turpentine.
I definitely am getting that cola that I mentioned earlier on the nose. And like I said, it's not like Coca-Cola. It's like that store brand cola, like that RC cola or whatever. What kind of wings would go with it? This is David asking. David goes to this local bar that I go to, and we always get wings. I would say because of the smoothness on here, I wouldn't necessarily pair it with anything too spicy. I mean, I would definitely drink it with my Old Bay wings because I drink anything with my Old Bay wings. I think the Old Bay would add a little bit too much of a spiciness. I would probably say honey, but not honey barbecue, just regular honey glazed wings would probably go well with this. The sweetness from the honey, but then the smoothness and the fruitiness from this wine, I feel would really sort of mellow them out. I would say if you're going to do regular buffalo, and I don't remember if the place we go to has different alarms or if it's just one solid one. I could definitely see this going with a mild version of Buffalo, just like a plain generic Buffalo. We're really not too spicy. It's just regular Buffalo. I could see this working with my Old Bay wings if it's just sort of an Old Bay rub. So some days when I go there, usually I like to drench it with Old Bay because I'm from Maryland. So I could see if it's just drenched in Old Bay, this would not work well for most people. But if it's just like an Old Bay rub and maybe with a little bit of like a butter glaze, I would say this will work well with that. And there's a mosquito flying around. Oh, you want more? He wants more. I didn't get him.
Nah, let it be.
And I would say if you're going to a big wing place that has different varieties of wings, this jerk spice.
Don't call me a jerk.
I'm sorry. Jerk spice rub. Jerk spice rub would work well. Of course, just plain old naked wings, nothing on them. Just battered them up and fried would work well. But I mean, it's definitely a difficult pairing because I would say I would need to try the wings first as well along with this wine, because sometimes you can drink a wine and say, oh, this, no problem, David, no problem. I would just say the only thing is wine has its different things, and you could have a glass of wine, eat it with a meal one day and think it's fantastic, and then do the same thing a week from now and think, oh my gosh, like this is so different, and you're wondering why that is. Like wine, and just like whiskey, and just like what else you have throughout the day, your palate changes. Wine changes. If this same bottle of wine might not necessarily have the exact same flavors as another bottle exactly like this, unless if it's from the same barrel. You got to think, when they make wines, they make multiple barrels. That's why they can make multiple cases of wines. If you get a different wine if you get the same wine but it was made from a different barrel, what goes into that barrel, how that barrel was aged, how that barrel was processed, just one little thing that maybe they overlooked, that something just got done differently. Maybe they did some shortcuts, could change the wine drastically for the good and better. You might be like, wow, this wine is even better than I thought from last time. Or it might be like, wow, I had this wine last week and it was fantastic, and now it's terrible. So always give wine the benefit of the doubt. Always try it like at least 3 or 4 different bottles. If you can, shop around at first, but ultimately come to where I work, Petite Cellars. But definitely shop around. See how different they are. Sometimes it's all on how the bottle is processed and how it's shelved. If you're in a store that's relatively cold all the time, or if you're in a store that's relatively hot all the time, if you're in a store where the Pinot Noir section is, always buy a certain light source, whether it's by the sun or really bright lights, that can definitely change the aspect and the taste of the wine. Which is why when you buy wine, you should leave it somewhere. Either if you really want to cellar it, leave it in the basement, or if you're just leaving it in your house, leave it in the cabinet where there's no light source coming in, there's no heat or cold source. Put it like in if you have like a liquor cabinet, put it in there where there's nothing that can really interfere and change. Because all these things can change why the wine tastes so different. But anyway, that's my little spiel about this. Getting back to this wine, as I said, you got the cola, you got the cherry, raspberry, a little bit of strawberry. A very smooth wine. It doesn't hit you with a very dry palate. Even though it is a dry style wine, it's not a harsh dry. It doesn't like leave you like, parched. It's a very smooth, fruity wine. Just like leaves you just nice and lush, as it says. Looking at 2014, going into 4 years for this Pinot Noir. I could definitely see this aging easily another maybe 5-8 years. So this, I feel this definitely has some potential on it. I would say maybe 5 to 6. 8 years is giving it another 4 years already on, so 12 years, maybe 8, maybe 12 years might be good for this. I would say if you're seeing this around in 2026, who knows? Definitely in 2020, 2021 for sure. But I'm still going to give this a high rating. I really like this wine. It's a spectacular wine. I'm going to give it 4.5 out of 5. With that benefit of the doubt that I think maybe a few more years, this might be able to see a little bit more uplifting with the flavors, with those ripe red berries. I feel like a few more years could really maybe showcase them a little bit better and have this wine really lash out. And maybe, No, I would say that's I think say just in a few more years, this could really just showcase a tiny bit more than what it's offering. So 4.5 out of 5 for me.
4.5 out of 5 for me too.
All right. What does Jerry say? Okay, get out of there, Jesus, man. Oh, Jerry's probably a perfect 5, and Hart's. Was that a half or a full? Okay. So 4.5 for each of us, 5 for the Bears, and thank you very much, everyone. We hope to see you again soon. Cheers.